I'm Atif from AudioLuxe, purveyor of Steinway Sons audio systems, and I'm here at Steinway Lyngdorf UK, home to the best collection of Steinway Lyngdorf products that you'll experience. I've been coming here for a number of years, and I'm always excited to see the innovation, the new products on display, and most importantly, just to enjoy the finest audio systems on the planet. The managers here, Charlie and Simon, are very well versed in the various systems, and I'm going to be spending time with Simon today just to share with you and discuss what's so unique about these audio systems and the various differences between them. Through my experience, I've heard so many systems, and there's so many products and systems that sound good. But if we're talking about raw emotion, the first thing that hits you, and one of the reasons I love this brand, it's just aesthetically astounding. It's the same lacquering process and design and aesthetics that you'll find in the Steinway Sons grand pianos, which are well renowned throughout the world. At every major concert, every musical artist who plays the piano has a privilege to play on a Steinway Sons piano. You'll see them placed in various movies. So just to have that branding associated with an audio system, it's just in itself a huge amount of kudos. When I'm listening to the various systems, I fell in love with these over a decade ago, and I've been the proud owner of a Steinway Sons Model O system. Really impressed, and my friends, family absolutely loved it. The reason I come here is because I want to see what else is there within the product range. And when you come here just to experience a £250,000 audio system that's sitting behind me, these systems really do evoke emotion, and these are the things that actually bring tears to your eyes in a good way. And there are various systems for various applications, different room sizes, for media rooms, home theatres, and it's also a really good experience just to see how the technology evolves. For instance, they've got a soundbar. In my opinion, it's not a soundbar. I call it a sound station when you get to see the size of this thing. And it's just such a great experience. If you're a car enthusiast, the only way I can describe the experience, if you love exotic cars, is go and see them, go and test drive them, and then you'll feel the difference in dynamism and aesthetics, and you'll get to know exactly what you want. But unless you come and experience it, it's very difficult to articulate exactly what I'm talking about, but hopefully this video will point you in the right direction.
Hi, I'm Simon from Steinway Lyngdorf. I'm the sales operations manager here, and I basically get to enjoy myself every day. I am very lucky to be able to showcase the world's finest audio systems, and my main role is looking after all of the dealers in the UK, and there's not actually a great deal of them, to be honest. Being such an exclusive brand, Steinway is very particular about the dealers that we bring on to represent the brand and bring that experience to the end user. So my day-to-day role consists of making sure the relationship with those dealers is good, and that we have projects flowing in that can have Steinway implemented into them. So we're sat in the UK showroom for Steinway Lyngdorf. Charlie and I got the keys to this place in August 2022, and we put our blood, sweat and tears into this to make sure that it was a showcase that really captured the emotion that Steinway Sons really delivers with the audio system. So it's situated in the countryside of Essex, where we're both from, and we've got some really cool features, i.e. it's actually an equestrian farm, so there's a beautiful stables and a dressage arena and a hydrotherapy centre, so it's very private, and clients get to come and kind of detach from reality for the day, I suppose, is the best way to put it. We've got an airfield called Andrews Airfield, so clients that are lucky enough to own helicopters and such like can actually land there and then be collected to come and experience Steinway. So we found this place, and we really wanted it, not just because of the positioning of where it was, but also the way it looks, the way it feels, the comfort that it brings people when they are actually in the facility. My first experience of Steinway Sons was probably the most unprofessional way of listening to a Steinway Sons system, but one of the most memorable. So Charlie, my colleague, also best friend, were given this opportunity to look after Steinway in the UK and look after the dealers. So we're very proud of that, and we look after them in a way that hopefully they see we care. But I remember getting the keys to this place. None of the walls were built. None of the cinema was in, it was just literally old desks and things because it was used as a call centre previously. And we were sent this kit from Denmark in all these different boxes, and it was like having the best play date ever. We unpacked them all, and it was actually an S15 system that was the first ever system I listened to. So it was 2 of these and 2 of the 10-inch subs, the S210. And we propped it up on a table, and we put the subs in the corner, and we did a room perfect calibration, and we sat there. And it was just this moment of like, wow, I'm actually experiencing this. I've been in the industry long enough to hear about them and know that they do these things and make these systems that are amazing sounding, but to actually sit and listen to it and really kind of understand it and be blown away by it is why it's so memorable. It was like me and Charlie just like looked at each other with this like grin on our face, just like, I can't believe this is actually real. So that was, yeah, that was my first experience with Steinway and Sons.
Take us back. New York Hotel.
New York Hotel, yeah. So that was our opportunity to shine. The product itself has come from a connection of people that have seen something in an amplifier that was developed by Peter Lyngdorf in the late 90s called the TAC Millennium. So it's the first digital amplifier. Now there was reports that people had never heard a piano sound like that through an audio system. So getting the opportunity to be put in front of Steinway and Sons meant that we could work with them to develop an audio system that really showed the dynamic range of their grand pianos. We are the only company in 170 years to partner with Steinway and Sons, but not just partner, physically have Steinway and Sons on the front of the products. So the Model Ds that are behind me are the flagship product, the first speaker that was developed within this process. And the whole point of the Model D is that it needed to be the purest in audio experience. There couldn't be any kind of real coloration to sound. It needed to deliver the realism of that vocal, the realism of that piano in order to be able to be accepted by Steinway and Sons as a product. Fast forward to now, the Model D being our flagship, the piano range that Steinway and Sons have, they have the Model S being their smallest, which is what is sitting next to me here. And we go through the range like the Model A's, the Model O's, the Model B's, Model M's. They're all based on the piano range that Steinway have. We also do a full custom install range as well, so people that want that Steinway sound get the opportunity to have that, but they maybe want it to be hidden because, let's face it, the technology that we have nowadays is wanting to be part of the fabric of the property. So having the opportunity to hide the Steinway sound is as good as being able to make a statement with the Steinway sound in your property. So if you're a customer that wants to make a statement and you like your floor standers, we have like Model A's, Model O's, Model B's, Model D's, Model C's, the list goes on. And each speaker does something very different. It's not about saying that speaker is better than that speaker. They all have their place within the project. If you're a jazz listener that wants a small snug with that kind of warming experience of listening to real classical musical vocals, then the Model O is going to be a great product for you, because not only does it have that Steinway sound and the Steinway statement, but it's also small footprint. So if you are in a smaller room, you can't have speakers just put into the middle of the floor. They go right up close to walls. They're designed acoustically to do that. So it gives the customer the flexibility to be able to enjoy the statement that they've made, but not make it the statement in the room, if that makes sense. For customers that want to still make that statement, but let's face it, they want to be loud and proud, we have products like the Model B. Now the Model B is, if I could, I would, engineering, I think is the best way of putting it. Put it this way, we have 12-inch woofers in the pair of floor standers. So these things can play at absolutely massive SPL levels. And the DSP within the digital amplification just never fails. So you will deliver that full range sound, be it that you're listening at a quiet level, still getting the highs, the mids, the lows. But then if you really want to give it some beans, you don't lose that detail throughout the process. If anything, you just emphasize what that recording artist has wanted to produce. If you're a customer that wants the Model B level performance, you want that power, you want that low energy from the bass, but let's face it, you've maybe not got the space to have a dipole speaker because the Model B has to be positioned away from walls. We have the Model A. So the Model A gives you massive output in terms of SPL. The AMT tweeter just gives you that sweetness, that clarity, that real emotion that you get from the vocal performance. But being a full range speaker, having a dual 12-inch woofer built into it, it gives you that low energy as well. So I think a lot of customers tend to go towards the Model A because I think if you look at it from value for money perspective, you deliver a massive amount of the Steinway range, but in a smaller product. It sits nicely within the mindset of the client. So as technology develops, as fashions change, as people want to experience their products in different ways, form factor obviously comes into that discussion. You know, it's all well and good wanting to make a statement, but if there isn't room within the space to do that, we wanted to come up with a product range that delivers the Steinway power to a visual, to a film, but also audio experience as well. So we looked at the trends, and soundbars, as you can imagine, are a very popular option for a lot of custom integrated projects because they're sleek, they fit nicely within the project, they're quite discreet, and they deliver that cinematic sound that the client really wants within their media space. So a soundbar option for us was definitely on the cards. And in early 2024, we launched the Model S soundbar, which calling it soundbar, I think, is a bit of a does a bit of injustice to it because this product is a wall of sound, I think is the best way to describe it. But it's basically 3 of these, so 3 of our S15 speakers fitted into a bar form factor, and it actually has 2 10-inch subwoofers built into it as well. So it's an all-in-one unit that the client can have discreetly put within the project, or you can high gloss black it and put your 24 karat gold design as well. So you can make the statement as well, but with that soundbar form factor. So that was definitely a product that's been very popular since the time it was launched at the beginning of the year. The Model D was our first speaker system that was developed with Steinway Sons. The next product, we went opposite end of the scale. So we've gone from a 2.5 meter tall, full range floor stander to a very small footprint on-wall design speaker, the Model S. Now the Model S is the smallest piano within the Steinway range, so the Model S is the smallest speaker within our range. But what's very clever about it is, I don't know if you can pick this up, but it's actually an open design. So it has a triangular baffle in here, so as the tweeter is playing, obviously, the sound is then bouncing from that baffle, and the sound kind of comes out of the sides of it. It sounds a lot bigger than it is, and it's often quite shocking. It's the demo that you do to someone. They see these small speakers and they think, oh, it's going to do something, and then it does what it does, and it's like, wow, how is that physically possible coming from that speaker? So the Model S is the world's biggest selling Steinway speaker. Not only can you do kind of stereo 2-channel listening experiences with it, this is very much popular use in media rooms or in cinema design. We do a full custom range of it as well, so if you want it to be hidden, you can. We do a custom install version of it. And also the colouring side of things. This is the high gloss black with the gold, which obviously is the signature Steinway Sons colouring. But if you want to make it purple with satin finish, or you want this to be a different colour, the whole range is completely customisable. This is probably the best remote in the world, let's face it. This is a 24 karat gold, infinite spinning, Swiss bearing volume control. So where we're not adding or taking away resistance from an analog system, where we are digital throughout, all we're essentially doing is adding voltage to that full range sound that's being developed, that's being played digitally. So as I increase the voltage essentially of the system, I increase the volume, but I keep the same detail throughout it, whether it's low volume or high volume. So we're very famous for this infinite spinning volume wheel. So to have a 24 karat gold version of it, which is very heavy, it's just a cool little feature that adds to the system for the client. They can sit there on their Friday night, whiskey in hand, give it a little spin, and they're listening to the best audio they can listen to. Also, heavy is good. Heavy is reliable. You know, if someone breaks into your house, you've got a weapon. Woofers in projects are a necessity from a perspective of the low frequencies that soundtracks obviously produce. One of our core technologies is boundary woofers, so we as a manufacturer prefer to have woofers positioned in the corners, the boundaries of rooms, because we gain energy from that. And within our calibration system, Room Perfect, which is world renowned as one of the easiest and most accurate calibration tools that can automatically do this for you, it really loves that boundary sound. Also impulse times, if you're away from surfaces, obviously that has an impact on how that frequency has hit the wall and bounced off. So having them in the boundaries almost gives us like a faster impulse time of that bass response, which can then be controlled within the space. Now Room Perfect is something that is very valuable to us because, let's face it, people that put these systems into properties, they're not living in an anechoic chamber, they're not living in a place that is acoustically perfect all the time. Look at us, we're in the middle of a barn with lime plaster. So having Room Perfect just gives us that confidence that we know that the dealer is able to deliver the best that system can sound within the majority of environments. Of course, if it's going into a spherical glass box, then that's the most challenging environment that you could imagine. But within reason, Room Perfect really does tailor the sound for that listening room to make it as emotional as possible. Because I think that's really important to understand that calibrating audio is one thing, but taking the emotion out of the sound is another. So Room Perfect really keeps that signature sound intact. And that's not just from a perspective of a Steinway speaker. A Lyngdorf amplifier and processor from the Lyngdorf range won't look to change the signature sound of another speaker. That speaker manufacturer has developed that speaker to sound a certain way, and that customer has bought it because it sounds a certain way. So having a Lyngdorf electronics on the end of that means that the customer can make that signature sound the best it wants to be within that space. Definitely, with Steinway Sons, you are not allowed, it's illegal, to buy third-party amplification and processing for a Steinway system. So the electronics are very important. They are the heart of the system, and with the Steinway Sons range, it is slightly different to Lyngdorf in that Lyngdorf plays well with others. You're able to use Lyngdorf amplification with another manufacturer's speakers or vice versa. With Steinway, the Steinway electronics are a necessity for the system to perform the way that it should. It's one of the ways in which we are able to guarantee that level of quality and make sure that whatever system is put out there, Steinway Sons are confident that it will perform as a Steinway Sons system should. So we have a range of different processors and amplifiers to do that, ranging from a 2-channel stereo type processor all the way to like a full multi-channel cinema experience processor. I think from the perspective of having the professional musician side of the industry, not just the artists, but even like the engineers, like people like Colin Pink, the sound engineer for Hans Zimmer, Andrea Bocelli, all these really big people, to have someone like that in the showroom listening to this equipment and giving it a nod and really enjoying it and almost getting kind of a geek out moments about the excitement. For us, it gives us that validation that it is as good as we believe, because we obviously believe how good this stuff is. But to hear it from those kind of peers within that kind of industry really reaffirms it. So who buys a Steinway Sons audio system? Realistically, it's anyone. You know, obviously they come at a price, so it naturally puts itself into a certain market. But I think what's really been quite interesting over the 5 years of me working with Steinway Sons is that I've understood that, of course, the prime low-hanging fruit customer is the audiophile, is the person who's had systems in the past that's always enjoyed good audio, but has then had their eyes opened by listening to a Steinway system and thinking, wow, I'm hearing things I didn't hear before, and I want to increase my audiophile journey by going down the Steinway route. But realistically, I think it's people that have got a soul, got a heart, and really listen to something and just fall in love with it. And I've worked in this industry now for coming up for, 13, 14 years now. And I've worked with a lot of products, a lot of brands. Everything has its place, but it's the first time that I've sat down and listened to an audio system and it really captures you emotionally. When you hear the crackle in someone's voice, when you hear the clarinet, the keys move as the finger rubs across it, as the foot changes on the pedals of the piano, all of this thing that pulls that story that artist wanted to tell through the emotion of it. It's the first time that's ever happened. And I think what's interesting really about the customer base is that we've had systems been put in by dealers to clients that didn't even know they liked speaker systems. They've just sat, been invited to listen to it, fallen in love with it and gone, I need that in my life. The same as you need a good quality kitchen or a good quality garden landscaping in the property or whatever it is, the audiophile side of it has fallen away from some customers because they just want that. They want that experience. They want those goosebumps. They want their family to sit and be blown away by whatever it is that they're watching or listening to. So yeah, there's a lot of people that can buy it.
It's always such an honour and privilege being associated with such an extraordinary brand as Steinway Sons, and I wanted to send a big shout out to Simon and Charlie and all the team at Steinway Lyngdorf just for opening their doors, inviting us in, and always giving us just such a tremendous experience. So if you want any more information, just contact us at AudioLuxe. We'd be more than happy to arrange your private demo.